So, it's a great pleasure to welcome Mr. Ravi Kumar Narra. Mr. Narra, with his multifaceted personality, had to weather many storms to become one of the most commendable personalities in the spheres of social service and business enterprise. Being an action taker, he is living proof of the statement the distance between you and everything you want is the number of actions you take. In terms of taking up challenges, whether it be in his life or the business arena, he always says yes, even before he has the how figured out. Sir has been bestowed the fourth highest civilian award, the Padma Shri, in the year 2014 in recognition of his incredible contribution to the growth of the Indian industry. He is also the first Dalit entrepreneur from southern India to be awarded a Padma Shri. Mr. Ravi is also a member of the National Task Force on Affirmative Action Committee of the Confederation of Indian Industry and is known for his effort for the upliftment of the Dalit community. We are enthralled to have such a notable personality with us today. I wholeheartedly welcome Sir to address you to our young audience.
Thank you very much for your nice introduction of me, and I'm very happy to participate in this E-Summit, which is being organized by Aryabhatta College of Delhi University and respected Principal Professor Manoj Sinha ji and the convener of the E-Summit, Dr. Monica Agarwal, co-conveners Shivani, Dr. Ruchi, and coordinators Yash Agarwal and Sahanya Srivatsava, and my fellow speakers Sri Devendra Singh ji, Saket Kumar ji, Dr. Mohammad Jahid Ashraf ji. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to interact and address this E-Summit, wherein the young students of this Aryabhatta College is initiated this E-Summit. I congratulate them for organizing such workshop. I don't want to discuss about what is entrepreneurship and how it goes and all those things. I'll share just my experiences, what we have gained over a period of time. Because the entrepreneurs are not only born, but can be identified and trained and developed too. Because this is the experience what we have gained. Because no entrepreneur is a born, there may be born entrepreneurs, but many people who can be nurtured, who can be given a mentorship, and they could become the very good entrepreneurs in the society. And the developing entrepreneurs and the creation of multiple effects in terms of the livelihood creation, generation of employment, income generation, and the asset creation. So a large chunk of employment generation in India, it is only because of the entrepreneurship, the entrepreneurs who created a majority of the employment in this country, and the same the case in the rest of the world also. So the capacity of an individual can be identified by their entrepreneurship skills. There may be so many definitions for becoming the entrepreneur, that so many qualities they must have. But one primary quality, what I have noticed in all the entrepreneurs, are the passion. So passion is the most important thing for anything in entrepreneurship, because we have seen many traditional business families who has been established since hundreds of years, and now the next generation of them, if they doesn't have the passion for that business, even the established business, it cannot be run properly. And also, there are many people who has come from rags to riches. So they don't have any financial support, they have any social background, they do not have the experience, but they could become a very successful entrepreneur. So the key factor is that unless we have the passion, we one cannot become the entrepreneur. That is the proven in many cases. As far as India is concerned, traditionally India is not a entrepreneurial community, because the traditionally the everything in the life is prescribed by the societal order. Like if a person is born in a particular family, so he has to take up the similar profession which his grandfather and his father has taken up. So the traditional way of livelihood is being practiced in India since long time. But because of the technology and because of the globalization and because of the world connectivity, now the people's mindset is changed. Now they are everybody is observing what is happening around world, and everybody, irrespective of their background, they are coming forward to become the entrepreneur, and they are becoming the successful. Now, India is celebrating the 75 years of independence. Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav. And India is the second largest populated country in the world. And as far as the census is concerned, now in the worldwide, the most of the young people are hailing from India. So highest population in the young people are the Indian living in Indian continent. So this is the great asset for the country. So once upon a time, the population was a very negative factor for the country since till 1990. But after the economic liberalization, when the globalization is taking place, the population, which was a negative factor, has become the positive factor. For example, if somebody manufactures a cell phone, suppose the Apple company is from America, and if they sell their product in their own country, they may not get the market in which they have. So now the India has become a very big market for the complete world. Anything, any item, whether it is a garment or whether it is a food item, whether it is the electronic gadget or whether it is a aerospace, what you name any vertical, the India is the great potential. So this factor is identified the governments now, and the government is also under pressure because there is no employment creation by the government, both the government of India and state governments. There is no employment generation. So almost we can say the nil employment generation, whereas in proportion to the population. So now we have crossed more than 135 lakh population, population, and the employment generation is not even a 0.5% to the
Yes,
in
sir.
proportion to the population. So in this scenario, the only option before the citizens are to become the entrepreneurs, and for that reason, now the governments are initiating lot of policy support system to become the entrepreneurs. So especially for the MSMEs, the government is coming forward with a lot of policy support system. So they are trying to create an ecosystem to sustain in the entrepreneurship by all the different category of entrepreneurs. Likewise, state governments also have realized, and the state government's focus is also now on the developing the entrepreneurship among the citizens. And as I told, the India has a lot of potential to become the entrepreneurs, whether it is a nano entrepreneurship or a micro enterprise or a uh, SME or a big company. Everybody has a space to play. and because of the globalization, the export opportunities also have increased drastically. And the agri production, agriculture field, we have lots of opportunities established, because a little bit of value addition is going to become create a lot of enterprises. So that is the potential the India has. And as far as my experiences are concerned, some new, because many people complain that what idea, what business I should start, what can you suggest with ideas? But the ideas has to be come within the entrepreneur, because there nobody has demanded that you must invent the iPhone. Nobody has invented that you should have a, particular product. It is the entrepreneur who has identified the problem being faced by the people, and when he comes out with a solution, he will become the entrepreneur. For the best example is the Ola, Oyo. So,
Yes, sir. Yes.
these people doesn't have any investment or any background, but they have the idea. They have seen the people's problem and they want to provide a solution for it. So, while giving the solution to the problems being faced by the citizens, so you can become a very big entrepreneur. So, this is the best example I can say. And also, there are many fields which we have not identified so far. Many people will not across, they never think beyond certain levels. But if you observe scientifically, and if you observe day to day happenings in the society, definitely we can get a very good idea, and we can become, if the idea is taken forward with a passion, there is every possibility of becoming a successful entrepreneur. One woman in Hyderabad, you will not believe that she is earning lakhs of rupees by vegetable cutting. In this
That's great.
in this country, may every most, because of by tradition, many women by birth they know how they will be cutting the vegetables, but nobody thought that that can be a business model, that can be a business model. So she employed some 30 women, and she started cutting the onions and started supplying to the Hyderabad hotels where the biryani is sold. So along with the biryani, there will be one attachment of a small packet of onion and the lemon pieces. So she has identified the problem of the hoteliers. She approached the hotelier and she convinced them, and she started supplying that attachment to the biryani packets. So like that, and one person came to me with the idea of making a rat farming. So generally, people what they do, the rats, what we do, we try to push away from our houses and we'll try to kill them. But this man has made that as his business model. It was very difficult for me to make a policy to have a rat farm, because you have a policy for the poultry, you have a policy for the fish farming and everything, but the rat farming there is no policy. So even MSME department doesn't know how to issue a udyog Aadhaar for this line of activity. But I was surprised to know that there is a lot of business in the rat farming, because the most of the rats are being purchased by the all pharmaceutical company when they produce the medicines. So every batch they need to test on the rats. So that has got a huge volume of business. So now he's become a very good entrepreneur in Hyderabad. And also the technologically, now you are seeing lots of things are happening in the online, and everybody is focusing on procuring the material, whatever it is, even for a smallest vegetable, the people needs to be delivered at home. So such, because of the technology, it is possible one person placing, after placement of order, where that is and how it is reaching, where it is parked, how it is delivered, like that. So the technology has improved like anything. So in the technological side, if you convert your the traditional business model into technology, then you will become a successful. Otherwise, the gone are the days where the kirana merchant will be there in a particular area, and the people will come and purchase. Now the kirana market business culture is completely changed. So likewise, as the technology emerges, the so many challenges will take place for the existing business people. So, for according to the technology advancement, we can convert our business idea, our business existing business in connectivity with the technological upgradation. Then we will not lose the business, but we can become more successful. So, like that, there are many things. Now the families earlier also Indian families were not supporting. Many young people approach me. I want to do this business, but my parents wanted me to work for some company or like that. The people, there's no encouragement from the families itself. But now we propagate and we tell everybody that we have to support the children who has got the entrepreneurship ideas. We must nurture them and we have to support them so that they will become an asset for the nation. Because the in entrepreneurship, it is not only you are living yourself, you are also building the nation building. You are participating in the nation building activity. You are creating the employment, and you are giving the solutions for the citizens' problems. So, like that, various things are there. Now, as from DICCI, we can proudly say that we have converted lot of Safai Karmacharis who has been working since ages with a meager salary without any safety gadgets using or any technology using. But now we have converted them to use the technology. We have trained them. We have given them the training about the safety and how to clean and everything. And the government is coming forward. So with this, now the waste management mechanization has taken place, and during the process of mechanization, the same opportunity is given for the people who are engaged in this line of activity since ages. So now they have become the taxpayers. Within a 3 years of time span, most of the Safai Karmacharis have become the taxpayers. So imagine the success story of a laborer to become the entrepreneur. He has become the investor. He has obtained the loan from the bank, and he is paying the repayment to the banker, by which the bank's business is also growing. So so once you become an entrepreneur, it will create a multiple impact on the society. One is the employment problem is solved, and the employment generation is taking place. You are making the taxes, you are paying the GST, like that. And another very good opportunity in the entrepreneurship is that, suppose if you are employed and you are likely to get retired after certain age, but in entrepreneurship there is no retirement. And if you are in a job, you cannot transfer the job to your children. But in a business, if you establish, you can as it is transfer the business to your next generation. So whatever the efforts we are making, that will be for generations together. You can see many companies which are either in America or Europe or in India, the traditional business houses which have been established 100 years back. Now they are successfully have become a business house. So like that, the vast opportunities there in the entrepreneurship, and the Indian citizens has got lot of opportunity here, and there is a opportunity for us to lead the world also in business, because India has got lot of potential either in agriculture or in the technology, because most of the technology is developed by citizens of this country staying in America. So such a potential the Indian citizens have got. So thanks to the traditional social system, and as you know that everywhere the Indians are branded as a most hardworking and the most intelligent people among the various citizens of the world. So now I wish that the citizens of this country, and particularly the students of the Aryabhatta college, because of this E-Summit, you should take a commitment that you must become an entrepreneur, and the world is yours. The sky is the limit for the entrepreneurs. So with this, I thank you for the opportunity given to me. If there are any questions, I'll be ready to take it.
Yes, so I have some questions for you. So, question number one is the lives of a social worker and that of a businessman are very different and demand contrasting interests. So, how do we deal with these arenas so thoroughly?
Yeah, social work is something, is a charity, but the developing entrepreneurship is not a charity. It is the uh, uh, asset creation and money revenue generation. So that both cannot be compared. So that's a totally different, and this is totally different. Charity is to some extent for that problem we will be supporting them. So I prefer the social entrepreneurship. Social work, it's not social work, it should be a social entrepreneurship.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir, for your great insight. And my next, second question for you is like being the president of DICCI, what further vision do you foresee in the future to make Dalit entrepreneurs the next job givers?
Yeah. See, in India, the population of the Dalit community, if you include the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, it is 25%. That means one quarter of the nation. And traditionally, these people are engaged in the very lower strata of works in the society, like engaging in the waste management or sanitation and all that. And many people after independence, so they only opted to become the employees because of the employment generation in the country. A lot of banks have been created, public sector undertakings, government of India has created jobs, so various state governments created jobs. But now, earlier, those were the days where the employment job opportunities were there, but the suitable candidates were not there. But because of the increase in the educated people among the Dalit community, so many people are passing out from the prestigious institutes like IIMs, IITs, NITs, and so many. So now the people are there, but the jobs are not available. So in this scenario, we also advise the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe people, Dalit community, to take up the entrepreneurship as the profession, and DICCI is trying to develop the ecosystem and support system, and we have established a lot of business facilitation centers, and we have been working with the Indian industry also. We are very closely working with the CII, FICCI, and other organizations to create a business opportunity among the multinational companies on the procurement levels and the supplier uh, as a suppliers and all. So our vision is that this 25% population shall become a self-reliant. They shall not be a burden to the society or to the government. So since many people, since our organization is working since more than 16 years, we could able to create lakhs of entrepreneurs among the country. And these people earlier, those were the burden to the government. They were enjoying they were benefiting the welfare schemes. Now they are out of the welfare. Now they have become the employment become the job givers, and they have become the taxpayers. So our mission and vision is to that to instead of because instead of job seekers become a job giver, and instead of taking a welfare benefit from the government, we should become the taxpayer. So we want to convert this 25% population as the job givers and the taxpayers.
Thank you, sir, for your great insights. And my next and last question is, like, you were brought into the world in an average Dalit household with no scholastic foundation. However, you figured out how to get degrees in law, journalism, public approach, science. Like, what urged you to seek institutional instruction? Was it trying to support yourself among peers from non-Dalit foundations who were more advantaged than you?
Yeah, definitely. See, in the society, we cannot brand a community people with a bad or good people, or every individual is a different. Everybody, there are many bad people in the Dalit community, there
Yeah.
are many good people in the other community. So, we will teach to the society as far as our experience. In my growth, also, there are many other community people who have supported me in all the ways. Even now, in my business, many people are supporting me. So we have to have the inclusive approach. Our thought process must be inclusive. We shall not become the isolated from the rest of the society. So every Indian citizen should think of having the good relationship with the fellow citizens. So, though by some system, caste system, the India is divided into various districts, but as a citizen, we have to think, we have to support each other, and we have to make our nation is a great nation in the world. So that should be the option. So we always work towards inclusive, social inclusion must be there.
Thank you, sir. That was so inspiring. So, thank you so much, sir, for spending your time and addressing our viewers. We are grateful to have an opportunity to listen to you and be inspired by your ocean of knowledge and your auspicious presence. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity.
He has over 13 years of experience in the fields of finance, economics, public policy, central banking, portfolio management, risk management, derivatives, and macro research. He has high impact publications in the field of currency and Bitcoin. Mr. Kumar has also been awarded the Golden Jubilee Scholarship as well as the Shashwat Gopalan Award by the Reserve Bank of India. We are fortunate to have such a notable personality with us today. I wholeheartedly welcome Mr. Saket Kumar to address our young audience.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the introduction. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay. So thank you very much for having me here. It's a great honor to interact with young minds, young budding minds. You are the people who are going to shape the nation going forward. So, uh, what is the like background like of the students here? Like where they are from economics, where they are from which background? Hello.
So what is commerce?
Can you just give me a brief overview of the student profile?
So most of the students here are from the commerce background.
Okay, most of them. So what are they aspiring for? So what would be like their career progression? They want to become a CA, where they want to work in the bank, whether they want to go for civil services. What is the mood like?
So we have variations of students here.
Okay. So most are first year, second year, third year.
Yes, sir. First year and second year, sir.
Okay,
Most of
first
the
year and
students are from
second
the first year. Yes, sir.
year. Okay. So basically, what I would like to tell you is that I'm not going to give you any gyan or anything because you are already having too much of it on a daily basis. So just a practical advice that I will give you, like, uh, is that how you can excel in your after academics. Like how can you can excel at your job, or how can you use your academics to your own perfection to get a job. Right? The ultimate objective of academics is not knowledge, means it's knowledge, but the ultimate objective is to get a job somehow. This is the notion. So what happens is like what you read in academics and what you need to do as a job are very different, right? So it's still a issue to be addressed in India. There is a vast gap between the things we are taught and the things we are required to do when we are on the job. So the application is very important. So how you do the application part is by being practical. So when you are studying, like since I'm from economics and finance background, so I will harp on that on those things. Like while you are studying, like economics or finance, then you should always give a problem solving approach. Like why you are studying. Just not don't study just for the sake of studying for getting marks and getting knowledge. See how you can apply it into the real world. See around you, like what are the current economic problems that are going on. Okay, if you're reading monetary policy, if you're reading fiscal policy, so just read the newspapers, get into what the headlines are saying, what the news are saying, how is the economy faring, how is the world economy faring, and then apply your the theories that you're reading into how you can use those theories to address the issues that are being currently in focus in the economy. Like if inflation is going, so that you are reading Phillips curve or whatever theory you are reading, you're reading about Mendel-Film dilemma, or how tax can, whether government should increase tax, decrease tax. And so, we know that petrol prices are up. So what should be a prudent policy for the government to, whether to increase taxes, whether to decrease taxes, how much. So all these things, like what you have to do is like you have to practically apply yourself, your theory into understanding how these things can be addressed. Well, if you are able to do it, you will serve two purpose for you. First, you will get more interest in your study because you will get a real hand example of applying something that you are learning. So you will get more involved in it, understanding. Okay, let me understand. Just plainly reading something does not give any joy until and unless you try to uh, apply it somewhere. Once you start your application, then see your mind starts working. Like, okay, okay, this is something new that I'm understanding. My understanding is not perfect. I'm still not able to solve the problem. So when you try to apply yourself, then you learn 100 times more than what you would be learning just plain, and you will get more, and you will get more involved. So I will say the best way to learn is to apply. So what you should do, you should apply your skills that you are learning into whatever is happening in the economy, India and abroad, and discuss it with your friends, discuss it with your teachers, discuss with anyone you can who is good at economics or who has read it. And then if you are in this process, believe me, trust me, you will be industry ready by the time you get to your completion of your studies. You will be industry ready, and you will be a more informed citizen, more informed graduate, and it will help in you into your interviews. It will help you to build a perspective. And building a perspective is very important for students. Once you get a
That's
perspective,
great.
this building a perspective takes years if you're not focused. Like we are doing job, but we don't know what we are doing. We are studying, but we don't know why we are studying. So once you build a perspective, you get knowledge, you get to apply yourself. You get a perspective to understand how things are going, and then it will be a difficult in the beginning, but once you get a hang of it, it will just propel you something like anything else. Like if somebody is not doing it, and if somebody is doing it, you will see a vast difference. Like experience is very important. So what people will earn in after 5 years, 6 years of doing a job, if you are able to do it, you will be 5 to 6 years ahead of what you can be at your job and learning these things in the hard way. And 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 once you are if you see the change in yourself, like how you understand things, this will also help you in getting good jobs, better jobs, and excel at your academics also. So this is just a piece of advice that I will give to all of my fellow people and your students who are there, just to apply yourself. Don't just academically read, just don't read for the sake of getting marks. Read it from the point of view of problem solving. Okay, if you're reading some theory, how can I apply it into the normal world? What is happening? Is the normal world different from what I'm reading in the theory? What is the difference between them? What is the link between them? How can I address this link? How can I use my knowledge to solve these problems? Can I use my knowledge? If I can't use my knowledge, why I am not able to use it? What is missing? Once you go in this direction, I think uh, it will really help you, and it will really help you get a better person, a better informed person, and get good job, and as well as a good overall knowledge of the things you are doing. I will not take much of, this is a initial thing that I would like to tell, and I'm now open, like if you want to ask anything specific or whatever you want to ask, you can ask.
Thank you very much, sir, for your invaluable advice. Now, sir, I would like to ask some questions. So, here is my first question, sir. Sir, how are data science techniques used in banks?
So this is a very broad level question. So when you see data science, so when you define data science, so there are many techniques inside data science. You use machine learning, whether you use so there in machine learning also there are many sorts of things that are there. Like whether you are using supervised learning, whether you are using unsupervised learning, which sort of model you are using. So so when you have this broad array of things, and when you try to apply it in banks, so in banks, if you see the application of data science is broad, very broad. Whether a simple example of let us take anti-money laundering, right? Uh, Now you might be getting something like, okay, uh, if you have a bank account and if there is any suspicious activity. So how do banks face this suspicious activity? They use data science to monitor what has been your pattern, what has been the pattern of activities in your account. So if anything is not in the pattern, like suppose you are doing a very limited transaction, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, suddenly there's a big transaction of 2 lakhs. So the bank will, through its data science monitoring that is a pattern that is associated with the account, it will throw a pop-up like, okay, this account, there is an unusual activity. You will get an SMS and you will get an alert. Okay, whether you might be, maybe you may be doing it or may not be. So you will get an alert that okay, there is some activity in your account. So this is something a fraud thing or whatever is thing that we can use apply. Then other uses are like automated things like we can use it for credit monitoring. Like suppose credit risk is a very big risk for banks. They are lending to the to people, to corporates and everyone. So what they can use is a lot of data is available, and they can use these credit models to understand okay whether what is the default probability of the offer person. If I'm giving in a loan, whether I will be able to recover it or not. So based on your history, based on new sort of data, alternative data, like your credit profile or your earlier bank statements or your payments, how you're doing your UPI payments. All those things can be used aggregated and be used in effective data science technology, and can be useful for banks to use. Other is interesting thing, a robo advisor, like you said, automated response that you, whenever you are calling a call center. Earlier, what used to be, there used to be a person sitting there and responding. Now there is all an IVR system. So this IVR system is also a application of data science, where the IVR has been programmed, trained to respond in a fixed certain way. So all those things are application of data science in banks.
Thank you, sir, for this valuable knowledge. Sir, my second question to you is, sir, in your view, what has been the journey of cryptocurrency so far in India?
Can you come in again? What is the use of cryptocurrency?
Sir, yes, sir, sir. In your view, what has been the journey of cryptocurrency so far in India?
See, cryptocurrencies is still you see unknown. Like okay, this is an asset class uh, that people have been investing in for, but uh, as a person, you should understand what is cryptocurrency. Like suppose you say you invest in equities, right? So equities are as good as you say, like if you are investing in a company, the company has some financials, the company has something. When you're investing in cryptocurrency are all made out of thin air. You say there is no backing of them, right? They are all digitally created. So it's just a supply and demand thing that is creating the value for cryptocurrency. Now cryptocurrencies, whether can be used as a payment thing, whether can be used as an asset class, whether they should be used which is a long debate that still it is under government to form a regulation for that, or whether it is to be banned. It's still under discussion. There are pros and cons, like there are many cons, like there are issues with financial stability, there are anti-money laundering issues, since cryptocurrencies are not to be cannot be traced, and all those things. So from where the money is coming, where money is going. So from a government and from a regulatory point of view, these are the issues. How can, like, if somebody is like doing hawala transactions or wrong transactions using cryptocurrency, then whether that should be permitted or how it can be checked if it is allowed. So, and there is tax evasion. Even though government has put a 30% tax slab on that now, but still earlier there was no taxes on that. So all these issues are there, which needs to be carefully considered before view is taken. And since the matter is already taken up by government, so government will come up with a bill which will either it will put a stamp in the parliament, or the parliament has to approve whatever is the case. So we have to think, or as an investor, the government is doing its own part, but as an investor, we should be also understanding of the risks that are there in the cryptocurrency. Suppose we should not be swayed away by something like, okay, we saw Bitcoin being from $1, $2, $5 in 10 years back. Now today is $50,000. So what next? So should be invest. So investment, as always, should be as per your risk appetite. Means whether can you take the risk, if you are willing to take the risk, and it should be calibrated as per your position. Like you should not get carried away and put all things in one basket. So we should always be calibrated in our approach. If you want to invest, you should understand what are the risks. It is a risk that your whole money can go. There also so there is risk and reward, right? So you should understand what you are doing. The most important thing is to understand what you are doing. You should not invest if somebody XYZ is saying that you should invest. You should invest based on your own judgment, and you should be ready for any eventuality. But now again, it depends upon how much you are willing to take with risk, or how much you want to, and what is the reward that you will get. So it's an individual, and you should comply by the law, whatever it is at the present nature. But as a so as an individual, it's purely your judgment. But you should. I'm just saying that you should understand what you are doing. You understand the risk involved.
Right, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your invaluable insight. So now my next question to you is, sir, what is the role of traditional money, that is notes and coins, in light of the acceleration of the launch of cryptocurrencies?
See, the cryptocurrency are still there are two things we should discuss. One thing is cryptocurrency, which is privately minted money, and the second is central bank digital currency, which is still under consideration. And RBI has also announced that they will be coming with a central bank digital currency. So when we talk about cryptocurrency, so again, see, notes and coins, what is the issue? What is the use of notes and coins? Like suppose you are a 100 rupees note. So today you are going to buy something 100 from this 100 rupees note. So wherever you go, today you go or tomorrow you go or go after 1 month, this 100 rupees note will give you 100 rupees of thing. Its value won't change. Right? It is a store of value, and it is a this time invariant. You will always get 100 rupees in against that. When you are talking about cryptocurrency as a means of payment or something like that, then since cryptocurrencies are very fluctuating, like their values change. Today it might be you might be getting 100 rupees for that, but tomorrow there is no certainty that you will get 100 rupees in return on it. So whenever there
Right.
is whenever you are having using any notes and coins as a means of exchange or a store of value, so you should understand that it should have a permanent basis on that. That its value should not fluctuate. That is the most important criteria for being a currency. So that's why cryptocurrencies and all those things are cannot be cannot be coined or cannot be termed as a currency because their values are not constant. They are always changing. However, the notes and coins that are issued by a central bank have fixed values, and nobody can deny. In cryptocurrency, you can go, people can accept, people can reject. But for notes and coins that is in circulation, nobody can deny that. You have to take it, right? Because that is by nature and that is by law. So similarly, so so given these cryptocurrencies, the added advantage is that it helps people to ease the transaction, and you need not carry cash everywhere. You can easily use it. But today, what is happening is this digital payment that you say is very much good in India. Like if you see the UPI thing that has revolutionized everything. If today you don't need to do anything, you just need a Google Pay, you need a Paytm or your phone pay, anything. And a stroke of in 10 seconds, 20 seconds, your payment is done. You need not have any cash for that, right?
Right.
So then so what is this is a sort of a digital payment. So what is a central bank digital currency is similarly a tokenization of the hard currency into soft currency. It means like you will get a wallet, you will have money in that. Similarly, now today, just a replication of what we are having at digital payment. So cryptocurrencies, the main difference is that it is the same, is the fluctuation in the value. That's why they cannot be used as a means of payment because their values are not constant. So that's why the relevance And by law and by statute, the relevance of notes and coins will always be there because these are the official currency of of a country that is in issue. You are not audible, Dave.
Thank you very much, sir, for this valuable information. Our audience is learning so much about cryptocurrencies now. Sir, my last question to you is, sir, how has public
Yes.
policy helped remedy the effects of the pandemic on the economy?
So again, this is a very wide question, and if you understand, like when the pandemic was starting, like in March 2020, it was very new for India, right? And then a nationwide lockdown was announced, and we had a sharpest decline in the history of minus 24% of GDP that we lost in that quarter. But things have really improved after that. So what happened is like there was the government was doing its bit, the Reserve Bank of India was doing its bit. So even though we have a sharp contraction in the in the economy, however, with the efforts of the government and the Reserve Bank of India, the financial markets were left unscathed. They functioned normally. There were no disruptions. Earlier, you can see now the stock market. The stock market has rebounded it to from its lowest. Now India is among the best among the stock markets. You see currency also. The currency which was depreciating is now very stable relatively. The foreign exchange reserve you see, India is now having the highest foreign exchange reserve in its history. You say inflation, most of the countries are feeling the pinch of inflation, but still it's controllable very much in India. It's not had that much effect. Going forward, we may see a spike because the petroleum price is increasing due to the Russia-Ukraine war. So that may be a cause of concern. But still, if you see over the 2 years how the government and the RBI has managed the things very well, is that the they have not let financial market froze. The credit has flown. Is that the government has come up with that their Antyodaya Yojana, I'm not remembering, Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, something like that, along which they are giving free food from the past 2 years to all the needy people, and it has really helped them to get daily, even when their daily wages are not there and their daily jobs are not there, they are getting food at least to help. And the government is, I think, every year waging about like 80,000 crores on that. So that has been, and that has recently that has been acknowledged by the IMF also and the World Bank also in their report. That has been highly praised the world over. That was a very good scheme that the government has launched. So similarly, if you see, the confidence is back in the Indian economy. If you see that consumer confidence index that has been released by RBI, so the consumer confidence is slowly going back. If you see, manufacturing has got a very boost under the PLI scheme. Very good and big companies have come into India for starting their manufacturing. So see, if you see when there is if you have learned science, so when you see there is a sharp fall, then there is always a sharp rebound also. Huh? So M1V1 is equal to M2V2. M1V1 is equal to M2V2. So that is happening. So since there was a sharp refall, so there is a sharp rebound also, and the economy is doing good. There are concerns going forward because due to the geopolitical issues that are happening, particularly related to food prices are increasing, edible oil prices are increasing, petrol prices are increasing, which are very important in India because petrol prices feed in everything from trucks to transportation to fertilizers to everything. So that may be an issue going forward, but till now it has been good, and let's hope that things will be like this going forward also.
Thank you very much, sir, for your great insights. We are fortunate to have officers like you in our Indian administration. We are very grateful to the RBI and the government for formulating the policies that saved our Indian economy. So thank you, Mr. Saket Kumar, for taking the time to enlighten us with your insights and invaluable expertise today. All of us have gained a great deal of knowledge regarding cryptocurrency, banking, and so much more. It was a pleasure having you with us. Thank you, sir.